A very, very warm good evening. This is Arunava Chaudhuri. You are live on my YouTube channel, Arun Foot. It is Sunday, the 9th of November, 2025. And today I want to call it once more, or ask the question, the query of all questions. What is next Indian football after the failure of the ISL tender process? Hi, Sasiharan. Hi, Rudro. Welcome to Supreme Court hearing and involvement once again. Yeah, it's again, I think I've said this and I will say this again and again as often as needed. People want to hear it or need to hear it. I think the Supreme Court of India needs to recuse itself of the case and just say, you know what, dear football family, try to sort it out in yourself. But uh, um, and that's the problem that I see at the moment is we're not getting to that stage. Rudra is asking, who is Nageshwar Rao to decide future of Indian football? He has no idea of football. Yeah, I understand your sentiments. I understand what you're saying. I think that's a very dangerous scenario we find ourselves in because people who don't seem to understand how these kind of things work, and yeah, and the issue at the moment to me is how do we get out of this? Yeah, that's another thing. So therefore, for me, it is the way it is. I can't see a solution to things in the way that I would have normally looked at potential solutions. And yeah, it will be very interesting to see what happens next. And yeah, let's wait and see what is the next step. Jay Gupta over Roshan, wow, says Rudra. Yeah, news has come out that, or the AIFF did an update earlier today where they officially formally stated that not only Ryan Williams, but also Jay Gupta have joined the men's national team. Yeah, still don't know. And to me, a lot of questions arise of what's been happening and not happening. But to me, the biggest of all question is how do we best take this forward or don't take this forward? Because at the moment, I'm not sure how this whole scenario works. If you ask me, I honestly don't know because yeah, it is the way it is, and I don't have an answer to it. Hi, Rishabh, welcome back. Hi, Roshan. Was there any response from FIFA after the ban that I know? Roshan, the AIFF is supposed to, something has been sent into FIFA as far as I know, and they looked at it. So again, so from that perspective, it seems okay at this moment in time as I speak to you. But yeah, the question remains if and how things will be handled. But yeah, it is problematic to say the least, and we'll have to wait and see what are the next steps. But yeah, it is the way it is. Why AF moved to court on Tuesday? Why not tomorrow? Rudra, I have no clue. And you know why I don't have a clue? Because maybe there are certain processes or there's certain timelines, time frames, which I don't know about because again I'm not a legal person. I'm more, when it comes to football, more of a governance person. And then again, the Supreme Court involvement. You've asked the question in regard to Nageshwar Rao. I think in an ideal case scenario, Nageshwar Rao would recuse himself. The Supreme Court would recuse itself from the process. Say, guys, sorry, we got involved in something which we shouldn't have gotten involved, and change it in such a way that the case is looked at in a different way, and then you look at it and then think, okay, how can you save this process? Because the process is so much in shambles at the moment that the question is how can you get out of this disastrous situation, enabling football to survive. I think to me that's the biggest point. How can Indian football survive? That's why I did. If you haven't watched it, do watch it. Thanks already. A lot of people have watched it. I asked the question, who can save Indian football? Simple question from my side. Simple question: who can save Indian football, given the realities of things? And it's not just ISL. It is about ISL, of course, but it's also about the I League. It is also about the IWL, because the whole structure of the whole thing is yeah, that's the reality. The Lulu me was thinking about climbing my way to I League 3 in some years. Guess what? There will be none. Rushabh, at the moment, if I'm looking at the league structure at the moment under the AIFF, I League 3 and IWL2 will be the first two casualties of that. Yeah. And again, I League 3 by this time of the year is already done and dusted. Right. So yeah. Indian Supreme Court Federation, Vignesh, it looks like it. Hope it doesn't stay that way. I don't think we need to worry about any national team right now. Let the show continue. Rishabh, yes on one side, yes on the other side, no. I mean, I'm on one side very happy to see that Ryan Williams has joined the national team, but I'm also looking at the whole thing from a psychological standpoint with regard to the players, right? The players are like, ooh, what do we do? What don't we do? And we are in a situation where we need to be realistic. We need to be honest to ourselves, and yeah. Good evening, Siddharth. Job is saying we will reach out to well-wishers of Indian football. He's clueless, just resign. Rudra, I've said this now. I said this today. I've said this yesterday in the video. I said this the day before in the lives. Yes, I agree with you. If Kalyan Chaube had any bit of integrity left, which again, maybe that's the wrong assumption from my side. So therefore, for me, to me, if you ask or talk about well-wishers of Indian football, who I know at least, and I've spoken to a few in the last couple of days, as far as I know, no one has reached out to those people. So, can we define who's a well-wisher of Indian football? Let's start with that, right? So therefore, yeah, it is the way it is at the moment. What is the sports ministry doing? Everyone knows the AIFF is failing, but overall sports welfare is also the ministry's responsibility. They can't just sit idle. Arnav, this mess has been created by the Sports Ministry and the Supreme Court of India. Kalyan Chaube is the product of the cooperation of the government as well as the judiciary. Right? So, if you're expecting the Sports Ministry to do something good for Indian football, yeah, they've reduced their funds over the last 3 years. They're not supporting Indian football the way they should. Sorry. Needs to be different. I think even the pay and play academies might collapse if you don't have a league. Where do kids look up to, reach to? Which parents allow their kids to play for nothing? Rishabh, most of the kids play for nothing at the play-to-play models. At least the ones I know, none of them are aspiring to become a footballer. Some of the parents want their kids to be out of the house. Some of the kids think that they are Ronaldo, Messi, or whatever. Most, I don't think, yeah. What was the role of Jaideep Basu and COA team for this mess? Shomo, I go back to April, May 2022. I went to the COA and told the COA what the realities are, right? In front of a certain Ranjit Bajaj. I was laughed at, I was even abused. I'm the only person on this whole planet who predicted that this would happen, that we would get a ban. I warned in July 2023, if the AIFF does not act. Sorry. I've said this and I've tweeted it. I would rather be wrong than right. And I feel, and I believe by now, Indian football's biggest problem is that we're surrounded by people who have no clue what they're doing. Yeah. My biggest concern that Indian football at this moment, as I speak to you, with the people around, they don't understand what they're doing. And a lot of people, in their hope and wishes that things will sort itself out. have gone down this path. I've heard now from X number of people working at clubs, we should have never played the Super Cup. I've heard X clubs, you know. So the point at the end of the day is that be it Joydipda, be it Ranjit, be it even the late Novi Kapadia, you guys brought this case on us, no, in 2017, along with a certain Raul Mehra. You have gotten us into this situation. Didn't other people then say, oh, Indian football is worth that much? And I've been saying this for years. The value of Indian club football, the value of the Indian national team is a big zero. Laddu. Kuch nahi. It is the goodwill of people who have put money into the system. That is the reality of Indian football 2025. Right? So that's the point. So AIFF got last installment from us, then why they don't conduct I-League and all, saving money to give 5 lakhs to a general secretary who just received people on airport. Rudra, again, you are mixing up a lot of things. I have, as AIFF, received half of my money from Reliance. So I've got 25 crores in my kitty. I'm missing 25 crores. I'm not able to generate any other funding for the federation. That is also a reality that we need to remember. So for me, I don't know how the AIFF will run its system post 8th of this month, right? So the reality of the problems are that if I even look at the salary of the general secretary, whatever it is or whatever it isn't, or this whole chai discussions and all that you're saying, most of the meetings happen virtually. So I don't know where this chai topic comes up, right? To organize the I-League, you need much, much more money than, you could most probably do 1,000 chai meetings of the AIFF. So we need to come back to reality. What are the real problems? What are the real issues? Not get diverted by all these things. Does he deserve 5 lakhs or not is a different discussion, right? I feel bad for the people who wanted to create their future in Indian football from grassroots to the top. Nixon, I agree with you on one side. On the other side, I also say that a lot of people are, are at fault in this. They have helped, they've promoted all of this BS over the last 15, 20 years, right? So, why is my uncle getting 5 lakh per month salary? Because I think, if I'm not wrong, the case hasn't worked out in favor of the AIFF. The future's in limbo, yeah, but the future's in limbo again. A lot of people have blindly moved on with things, where I would say, let's see. Mohammed Supergiant, Kerala Blast FC, Chennai FC, shutdown operations more to follow. Khalid, I think, Rudra, I think, if I'm not wrong, I think 10 clubs already have, stuff on standby. I think in late November, who are the clubs who are going to be operating? It's of course FC Goa because of the AFC Champions League. On the other side, it is going to be Mumbai City, East Bengal FC, and Punjab FC. These 3 plus Goa, so these 4 clubs will be in operation by the end of this month. All the other entities will either go in a hibernation, like sleeping mode. Others might, again, Odisha FC. Does Odisha FC at the moment exist? Just asking. Right? So, and that is the thing that will follow. Also, I-League clubs are talking about it. Think about Inter Kashi spending so much of money and everything and then ending up in the situation they are in now. Nada, can FSDL take over Indian football completely? If so, would that be the right move? No, they can't, because they're a commercial entity. So they could run the commercial side of things of Indian football. They can, again, commercial and broadcast is what they can run with. And would it be the right move? No, because not everything that FSCL has done has been right. That also has to be kept in mind. Khalid diverting fans that we will bring origin players. Rudra, again, it is not because of him. It is because of certain other people that, that Ryan Williams is now part of the Indian national team, right? The people at JSW, especially Park, Sunil, Renedy, those are the people who've been behind it. I read some people are hopeful of other footballers with Indian origin could choose for Indian football. Seeing this mess, this could give them away. Roshan, I don't think so. The national team scenario, if that is your reason, why would someone who has a little bit of an opportunity to play for let's say, France or the Netherlands, would choose even countries in Africa? I remember, and you will know, Winfried Schaefer spoke about his time in Cameroon and the crazy stories that he's experienced. So if you are, again, and this is not a normal scenario. That's what I'm saying. Ryan Williams choosing to play for India, that's the thing. So, this is very difficult. But that's the reality of things at the moment, right? So, yeah. AIFF played mastermind, conducted Super Cup before November breaks with all clubs play. Otherwise, if they conducted after November FIFA window, they knew no bid will be there and clubs won't participate. No, wrong assumption. Rudra, you have one wrong assumption. The AIFF they actually believed that there would be bidders for the ISL. So from that perspective, it's a nice assumption of yours, but no, that was not the reason. They wanted actually India to be prepared for the Bangladesh game. From my understanding, the AIFF didn't even rate Singapore as a dangerous opponent. They were more focused on this Bangladesh game. So yeah, welcome to it's the way it is. Dada, what's next? Do you have any news? I'm just feeling frustrated for last 3 months. I'm missing something. No, there is no news. Yeah, there is no news because there is nothing to do, right? I've seen many ups and downs from 2011 in Indian football, but this time it's a very tough situation. Listen, ups and downs are part of football. It's part of life. Yeah, it is the way it is. And to me, very honestly, we are in this situation, and this is a situation which I warned of in 2022. We might head towards this situation. So for me, I am still surprised. You know what? I said one thing in 2019. If things don't work out in 2019, so even before COVID and everything that hit, I was talking to people and I said, listen, if things don't work out after 15 years, I always said that Reliance might go. I said, no, they've spent so much money, they've invested, they've done this, they've done that. Reliance will never go. And I always said to friends, I said, guys, for Reliance, this is, even if they lose money, looking at the size and the magnitude of the company, looking at the size and the magnitude of their operations, this to them is small money, right? So therefore, from that perspective, yeah. Rather, my comments are getting deleted. Why so? Honestly, I don't know. If you ask me, I have no idea because I'm not deleting messages. I'm just checking in the back end. No, I don't. Even on the sorry, no, not seeing your question. Please, if you can, put it up again. Advocate Rahul Mehra is going to propose any AIFF plea to change Supreme Court judgment. Yeah, Tom. Rahul Mehra is one of the problems for Indian football. Again, I still don't know what his intentions are, but the intentions are harming Indian football because to say that, ex-athletes are the better, administrators. I understand that with the politicians and business people and interest in whatever. but is what is Kalyan Chaudhuri brought, right? Chaudhuri is a crit chore. He has not played any role to bring Ryan. So Sendrawala, can AIFF still come back somehow? Rishabh, theoretically, why not? I mean, I think any option is there, but again, someone needs to take the move and make those things happen, right? I mean, that's my problem at the moment, right? If I look at it and say, okay, this could happen, that could happen, but then I need leadership at the AIFF who's gonna do what is needed to, let's say, convince Reliance and FSTL. I said, listen, you've invested 15 years into this, invest another 15 years, and let's rectify this. Thoughts on Jay Gupta joining camp? Rastik, I have given up on any of the selections made by Khalid Jamil, so don't make me try and judge them. Have you watched the River Monsters show? No, I haven't. When is FIFA ban coming? Rushabh, there is no FIFA ban coming. The league issue is an internal matter of the AIFF. The only issue is and this is the AIFF won't do it because they harm themselves, right? The AIFF normally could have potentially gone to FIFA and said, you know what, the Supreme Court of India is interfering in the running of the federation. They could have, but then FIFA needs to step in, look at it and say, okay, TK, right? Supreme Court of India, rap on your knuckles. But AIFF, we remove you because we will put an interim body in, normalization committee or something else of the sorts. So therefore, I don't see that the AIFF will go to FIFA. FIFA, AFC are monitoring the situation on day-to-day basis, but they will not. Thoughts on Kevin's performance at USAM World Cup so far? Bangladesh could have gotten a real future. Rastik he's such a big, again, Bangladesh would have never gotten him because he's too good. And again, you have the US as an option. Germany was another option. And then you've got Bangladesh. I don't know if, will it be a foolish decision to play Ryan as a number 9 and fail a national team, or play him as preferred wing position where he's best suited? He's a winger. The question is, does he play on the right and you put Changte on the left? Let's say those are two. If Ryan Williams is playing, Ryan Williams is our best player, our best winger, right? Hands down. So Ryan needs to play in his natural right position, and Changte can move to the left, strengthens our team immediately. The only problem is who would be in the middle to score those goals. But again, at least if we get corners, free kicks, yeah. Did you used to watch any boxing, UFC? I've never liked UFC. No, so I've never watched UFC. And boxing, I've watched it. I've watched it live a few times, but those are not my sports. Is Abni Bharti good enough? Rishabh, he has to prove it. If he joins the camp, he will have to prove it. I have certain doubts, but let's wait and see. Khalid said he will play Ryan as a number 9 foolish. If he said that, then Prodro, yeah, God help us. Ryan and Changte inverted wingers and Ryan at front are best front three possible. At this moment, yes. If you ask me, yes. Let Rahim play as number 9. He might miss, but at least he'll get into good positions. Exactly, Rishabh. My thought that he will, I don't see other players being capable of, very simply said. And that's, to me, that's a reality. And we like it or not, that's how it is. And yeah, it will be interesting to see if we can, get some sort of result. No, that's the challenge at the end of the day. No, so therefore for me, it's which striker gives me the best option, and on that front, I would always say it is going to be Abni Bharti played less than 30 matches in last years. Nobody see this. Rudra, it's something, yeah. he's come on a political recommendation. And I think if you look at the whole fiasco of, or rather, embassy recommendation out of Brazil, and if you see, yeah, so therefore, I wish him the best. I've known him since he's 12, 13. Gilang United days. I think he was 13 at the time, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, let's see. Maybe there's a surprise. I would be positively surprised. So let's wait and see what happens. Just off-topic question: your favorite F1 driver of all time? For me, Verstappen all day. No, for me, it's Michael Schumacher. As useless as the AIFF is, but the previous arrangement of 50 crore isn't enough money to run all the leagues, all the I leagues, IW youth leagues, national league staff, and then the age group leagues. Turbo. If that's not enough money to run it, right? Again, your logic is, oh, you know what? It's not more money. I want more money. We need more money. At this moment in time, no one is willing to give you even 1 rupee. At this moment in time, as I talk to you, the tender of the Indian Super League has failed with 0 bidders willing to pay 37.5 crores to the AIFF, with which then the AIFF would have to run its system. So your logic is give me more money. Okay, great. No one is at the moment willing to give you 50 crores. Let's be talking about that. Why wasn't Avneet's brother called up as well? Ask the AIFF. Avneet's brother, where does he play? What does he play? One second. Let me just check. His younger brother Aniket at the moment listed. Okay, last listed was no idea. No idea where the last play. This CV ends in, I think it's, where's this, Colombia? Yeah, Colombia under 20s. Don't really know about that, honestly. According to Ashish, bidders didn't have issue with AIFF fixed payment, but the rest of math wasn't working for them. No, not true. Ashab, the point is the 37.5 is a fix, yeah, and the math again, the 37.5 is in addition to everything else. So if the AIFF says, I want figure X, can you give that to me? Plus on top of that, as I've done multiple times, I've told you guys, prize money, running the league, match officials, which come from the AIFF, but you have to pay for it. Broadcaster, will a broadcaster pay me money, or do I have to pay the broadcaster? So without thinking, we're 200 crores down, So to me, it's a combination of all. If you think 2030 can attract FSL to bid for it, we would take action Tuesday. Krishna, they are out. At this moment in time, Reliance, and I've said this multiple times, Reliance Industries wanted to be out. I've said this. Whatever other people are saying, believe me, this is a fact. I checked Avneet's game time on Transfermarkt. He had barely played, couldn't find any other source of games. Rushabh, it's a recommendation of the embassy in Brazil. Right? I didn't know it was so easy to get someone to come and, potentially, trial at least with the national team. But that's how it is. Right? At the moment, again, look at what has happened with the Vijay Bali resignation that someone as a politician puts in a team. So, yeah. Technically, is it possible to cut a league right now? Yes. Why not? It is possible. But the problem at the end of the day is who's going to conduct it and who's taking care of the cost. Unfortunately, lots of football fans support him. Lots of Indian thinks the rich are always evil. That's why they oppose FSL. They oppose everything in the private sector. Only trust public sector. Tom, I understand that. And again, public sector, private sector can be a discussion. But again, FSTL has pumped in money which would have never come into Indian football. Let's be honest about that, right? And again, I have a little knowledge about it. Yeah, so that's it. So Zerodha brothers also interested sources. Krishna, again, your sources are very nice. No one was interested. Asking questions and being part of it, So, yeah, doesn't make sense to me. The whole discussion makes no sense. These babos should swallow the egos and beg FSTL to give them the earlier deal. Bushan, yeah, let's see. But I don't see Reliance budging at all. Thoughts on North Korea winning the U17 Women's World Cup? The women teams at all age groups are one of the strongest in the world. No doubts about that. Yeah, I think they are a machine. So yeah, it functions. At least at youth level, it functions. Hey Uchut, no professional league this season looks like a dangerous possibility. I have said 3 weeks ago, 1% chance of the ISL happening. 1%. And that 1% was and is still there. So the point is, how can you salvage the situation? Because even if, let's say, a new partner comes in, let's think, what so-called new partners coming in. Let's say tomorrow a new partner comes and says, listen, I will run the ISL. Okay. Those guys will need, I don't know how many weeks and months to sort themselves out to start running a league. Normally you have a transition period of a year, 18 months to come in and say, you know what, I'll run the league now. Right? Here you're saying, oh, no, you come in next week and then a few weeks later try and running the league. It doesn't work like that. At least to me, that is not how you run these things. But that's where we are now. I don't think Avneet Bhatt is that good for Indian team. Krishna, let's wait and see. I have no clue how good or how bad he is at the moment, and therefore we'll have to wait and see if and when he comes and trains with the national team. Krisman Chetri invited Avika Singh to national team camp. Yes, Roshan, I've read that, and that's good. But again, it's a question of will she come? I don't know. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see. So let's wait and see. And yeah, let's wait and see what happens. I'm not sure. Ashish Negi talked about Zerodha on X. Rushabh, yeah, nice. But again, as I say, these so-called interested parties, right? I was told privately by someone about 3 or 4 globally operating sporting agencies being interested. And then for the fun of it, I checked with them. I said, guys, are you actually bidding for the rights in India? I said, and in one company, they clearly told me, you know what, we are, as is our role, we are evaluating things, but we don't see ourselves coming forward to bid for it. So that's the reality of things. That that international sports agencies will look at it, but they will not bid for it. AIFF is fools. They could have signed MRA with FSL earlier. No one is actually interested in football. Yeah, Krishna. That's the summary. Revenue sharing model was good one. AIFF should accept it. Nixon, the problem is revenue sharing of what? Right? The model might be nice. The question is what revenue? What to share? And this is this is something I'm not sure if this is going to work or not, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But to me, very difficult to recognize what's going to happen next. But to me, very interested to see what happens. I'm not sure. Are you planning watch-alongs for East Bengal's AFC Women's Champions League campaign. Roshan, nothing of that sort finalized, but potentially could look at that. East Bengal have been drawn in Group B along with Wuhan, Janda, Bham Khatun from Iran, as well as Nasaf from Uzbekistan. And yeah, East Bengal will have to travel to a city called Wuhan. I don't know if you remember that city. Huh? So let's see. I'm not finalized on that. Could try and do something about it, but yeah. Let's see if I can. Yeah, not sure. You're a fool if you think BCCI are going to help them to get them out of this disaster, Shashwati. You know, I think it was Nitu Da, right? Nitu Shakar, East Bengal, who actually said that we need the help and support of the BCCI and this and that and everything. Like, okay, nice thought, nice idea, but why would the BCCI? Why would cricket come forward to help football? And we're a big second to cricket in India, but why would cricket come forward to help us? Right? We hear about Reliance young champs, yeah? But somehow we don't. You do, no? Under 17s, both are represented. In which position Ryan Williams will play as Mohammedan player will join as Ryan Williams getting NOC? NOC, as far as I know, is not there yet from the Australian FA and clearance from FIFA. And Mohammedan players, I don't know if Khalid's going to call up anyone, right? So, and position, winger. But if Khalid might try him as a 9. I know at the moment it did not have much of a revenue to talk about, but it would have incentivized all stakeholders to improve the product. As said, it just looks like lost opportunity. Nixon, what revenue? Again, I come back to the revenue conversation. Anybody who talks in any sense about revenue of profits to share after costs are covered, we are even 5 years 5 years away from trying to get even to a break-even point. If we did everything right, maybe in 5 years we could move towards break-even. In 5 years. Never, ever will we do. So, that's the problem. Your favorite Uzbek player right now? Mine is Faizulayev. So I might have butchered the Faizulayev. I don't have an Uzbek favorite player. So let's remove the maths. But even after so much losses and problems, why someone like us is so interested in running the league? Are they interested, Ogni? Just asking. I don't think they're interested. Is you think AIFF can run ISL? No, they can't. Look at how they run I League, how they run IWL, how they just ran the Super Cup. Will FS still find new sponsors this year? Investors needs a question of all questions. All right, it seems FS is angry at AIFF and they are saying that they have been inside the social media and AIFF meetings even after investing without zero return. They won't care for their work and will not take further insight. Aditya, where did you get this information from? Is that the problem? Do you think that this is the problem? That FSDL is angry? Reliance cares zilch in general as a corporate what other people think about them. They do the things that they think are right? So I don't know where you come up with this, but this is utterly rubbish. Former U17, US under 17 player and Ajax member Youth Academy graduate, 20-year-old Joshua Painadat is playing in Dutch second division. I said club should sign me one of the players in the early 20s. Yeah, Tom, but if I want the boy to be successful and if he's interesting to India, I wouldn't, So, nah. Live watching for the India Nation Cup qualifier matches could be possible. I think I'm not sure. Again, Roshan asked about the women's under 17s. Yeah, some stuff will certainly happen. Is Ryan comfortable on left wing? Changte could play on right wing, right? Changte can also play on the left. Ryan could be playing. Again, this is your options. So, inside of football, do you think there will be a backdoor deal between FSL and AIFF? No. If ISL will get money from grassroots league and does any football, if ISL not happen, yeah, Krishna, the ISL funded the rest of the system. Let's be clear about it, right? As much as everyone talks about it, right? Yeah, it's not. That guy, sorry, did I miss it? FSL might be interested if the numbers are not so bad. If the math worked out, then also what do you think about the 16-20 model, something like that? I don't know if it's about the numbers and FSL's interest, right? And you're talking about the 60-26-14 model. Yeah. But again, you need to have profits. So FSDL will be disbanded by December. Ushav, I don't know what Reliance will do, right? Dada, your friend Hiren made a video about this topic as he pointed out the club's players coach nexus for this issue. If he is right, it's deeper. The rot is much deeper, Turbo. The AIFF is part of the problem. It's not a singular problem. Kalyan Chaube, AIFF is not a singular problem. The whole system is a problem. And now you're trying to, so this is, yeah. Boria Mujumdar, rest was my source this time. I'm not yapping this time. You are yapping because you're using Boria Mujumdar as your source. You're just proving, again, get your sources right. Don't use Boria as a source. How did Abdul Bharti get a citizenship? Rushabh, he never had any other citizenship. He's been Indian all his life. He's not an OCI. He's an NRI. And no one's done their homework. This is the level of journalism, my friends, in India today. Right? Abni Bharti was never an OCI. Abni Bharti always NRI. Guys. That's why, Aditya, you can write, Boria can write all those things. Most of the stuff is not even true. There are people out there in the market selling you stuff as ye hua, wo hua, things which have never happened. And you fall for it. That is part of the problem. You believe all the shit that these guys write? Please do. Right? Because what they're writing has no value, no worth. And you support all of this stuff that some of these people are doing. Some of these people say, oh, I know what is happening. They have no clue, zilch, zero, nada, nothing. And I can proudly say that in 2022, I said FIFA ban aayega. 2023 bola, FSL tada bye bye, ho gaya. Where were these guys? All these guys said, no, will not happen in 2022. No, FSDL will stay. They've invested too much money into this. This is your level of people within the system. This is your media. This is your influencers who have no clue what is happening. Because you don't understand the business of the sport, the governance of the sport, the running of the sport. As long as Indian football does not get the right people into the right positions, Indian football will be there where it is. And we are going to go down even further. If you think that the last 2 days were bad, most probably we will see even darker days coming up. Sorry, but that's the reality. The situation is so messed up, our AIFF members had to do a meeting on Sunday. They will meet. That is, again, they've done meetings on Sundays. Right? And these video calls are happening left, right, and center. Hey, Blue. There are Indian passport holders playing in Middle East countries, Qatar, UAE, etc. But they can be considered should look on about playing abroad. Yeah, but Tom, no one is playing at the top level as a senior. They're not looking at juniors, right? If we take in consideration the overvalued 250 crore which FSDL claimed to be part of revenue, 40% should still have been around 35 crores mark. These babus always wanted control. Peak Dulu. Listen, you're talking about revenue, right? So revenue is not profits. What has been the profits? FSDL is now showing some sort of, profits. Didn't Mr. Goenka say, oh, you know what, we made profits at Mohan Supergiant? Didn't Tata say, oh, you know what, we made profits and this and that? Listen, they've spent money out of their own pockets. That's why I'm saying, okay, one pocket to another pocket. So there is no, Amit Bharti's father works for Ministry of Foreign Affairs, hence always posted abroad. The family initiates from day one. Yeah, Ocho, that's the point. That's what I'm saying. You are putting him into the bracket of OCIs. He's not an OCI. Right? Kalyan might actually be the worst football president of all time. Maybe. Guten Abend, Arunava goes to Supreme Court again, yeah. And this, yeah, if the AIFF didn't want to go there and said, listen, guys, we need to be out of the Supreme Court and this and that and everything, yeah, you could have gone to FIFA and AFC. But you're not going to do it because you don't know how governance works in sports. Right? There's a level of incompetence. Welcome to the world of the AIFF. Damn, fell for it again. Yeah, Aditya, that's what I said. Look at who your sources are. Look at what these guys do, for whom they are putting out these stories. It is very difficult to understand. I know it is very difficult to understand how this media space works, how media and influencers are influenced by people. I have not seen any journalist saying Abnid is OCI, but sad thing is the AIFF president taking hints from embassy of a player and selecting a player. He's not taking hints from an embassy. And Nadeem, there have been people who have said he's an OCI. I don't even know where there was an article which was from an agency which said he was an OCI. And if you look at the fans put him into the same bracket as Ryan Williams and the rest of the lot. So therefore, I have to talk about it. So as of now, what kind of damage control is being attempted? Rishabh, what kind of damage control, right? The question is there any damage control mode possible? The damage has been done. These guys, the Supreme Court, the lawyers who've been representing things, the AIFF have done whatever has needed to, right? 1 second, I need to just carry on quickly. So the problem is there, right? That the damage has been done, and it's a disastrous damage per se. And people are washing their hands off that what they've done, right? I didn't do anything. It's the system, and then putting the blame on Reliance, this, that, and everything. It doesn't work that way, right? So that's your challenge, and yeah, welcome to the world of the AIFF, and we'll have to wait and see what happens. But to me, things are in a very tricky scenario, and it's not easy. It is not easy. It will not be easy. And to me, if we want to get out of this situation to save Indian football, to safeguard Indian football, then the only thing is that these people need to be out of their positions. Very simple. We don't need a Kalyan Chaubey or a Satya in the AIFF. We don't need these gentlemen putting cases in the Supreme Court of India. And the Supreme Court needs to recuse itself with it. I don't know that journalist Arunava, his name as journalist is a lot of social media, so I thought it was there. Yeah, but again, his name is on social media. Aditya, this is what I've told you. It doesn't mean if someone's name is X times on some platform, it doesn't mean that it means it's right. A lot of people, and again, yeah. If there was less interference with Supreme Court and AIFF kept its shares in RSL less, then will it help to get investors? I'm sure the question, the baby has fallen into the well, and now you're trying to save the baby. The question is not the interference level is so high. The AIFF is in such a mess. I would tell you, if I had the money and the whereabouts to run the whole thing, I wouldn't put in money into this. because you would have to turn it around to make it, first of all, break even and then make it profitable. And we are far away from that. That is the biggest danger. There are no profits. There will be no profits for some time, but if this continues, then there will never, ever be a profit, total gloom. Yeah, Nixon, that's the problem. But the problem is that you have to wake up to realities and say, this is why, that's why we are in the situation we are in. That's why there are losses in the system, right? So to me, that's very, very important when we talk about things, that when we look at things, that we have to be realistic and honest, that, yeah, this is the way it works. Many are against FSDL, still now saying that of FSDL sign MRA once again, the cycle will repeat once again, which will lead to a similar situation after a decade. So Rava, who will give you money? Those who speak were not there in 2010 when the situation arose that Z Sports was running things. Z Sports didn't want to invest things. Z Sports just wanted to keep the rights and not do anything with it. Praful Patel went to Mr. Ambani and got Mr. Ambani to commit to a 15-year project. The Ambanis also committed to a 30-year project in basketball. They pulled out of basketball, right? So that's the reality. Did Ranjit say, no, that was said by Kalyan or Shaji, I think. Ranjit said that it's of value. They reported Avneet along with Ryan. That's why we assumed him being OCI. Yeah, but that's what also I was saying, that some of the media guys did that. SLK is running well. Yeah, Vagabond, again, on the field, yeah, most probably. But is it running well in regard to football, in regard to the finances? They're saying ISL has done more harm to Indian football than good. Yeah, that's the problem. What has the rest done for Indian football then over the last 100 plus years? We are in this situation, right? Is there any way out of this mess? In my opinion, at first, two things has to happen. AIFF go away, and more importantly, will stop poking the nose. Yeah, you said it perfectly. And it should be resignations in the AIFF, mass resignations in the AIFF actually, an interim body running the affairs, and then the Supreme Court moving out of things. Yeah. Solution is clear. Put your head down and accept whatever you have been offered. AIFF, you have lost your hand. Nixon, yes, but the AIFF never had a hand. And the question is, will whoever want to come forward, because they'll have to do a tender, right? They can't now say to FSL, listen, guys, we'll give you an old contract back. Just, your offer, we'll take it. Because then others would say, oh, you know what, we would have taken up that offer as well. So it is not, this is a very complex situation created by the Supreme Court of India. Are there any chances we get new players in after game as talked by Khalid and Kalyan? No. Khalid has not spoken about it. And Kalyan, yeah, less we talk, the better. Why didn't we go for proper football league structure rather than bring in the franchise league, which was bound to fail? The US and Australia fans still don't like that ones. Who says that, Angry Birds? Who says that in the US, or let's say in North America, they don't like Major League Soccer? The Mexican one has become a closed league, right? So franchise leagues work, right? I don't know who tells you that the Australians don't like it. It is, and this is the other problem. Why was a franchise model chosen, right? And the problem at the end of the day is that, they were making too many assumptions. If they ever don't have money for grassroots IWL youth league, they should stop them. Tough times call for tough measures. Nixon, where are youth leagues happening? Where is grassroots happening? The IWL is going to happen in 2 windows. Yeah. IWL happening in 2 windows of 20 days each. Sorry, let's not bring Kyle. Okay, 19-year-old Tassim Mohammed Rashid, who play both parents Indians, play for Aldo Helen's got Salik, played for 1 match for Qatar national team. U16 20 should be called. No, he can't. Tom, he's already played for the senior national team. He's no longer eligible for us. I can't see any out at the moment. FIFA has to ban this first. These things have been embarrassing. Yeah, but FIFA doesn't have If your league implodes, that is not a reason for FIFA to come in. Yeah. Nilanjan tweeted AIFF reserves to conduct the season of ISL and IFF. No, they don't. I don't know where Nilanjan has this information from, but they don't. IWL is being held in 2 windows in a total of 40 days. Is that a league? An ISL, tell Nilanjan to tell me how the AIFF will run a tournament which will cost you about, what, 30, 40 crores. That's why I say, guys, everybody is free to have their opinions, but how many understand the business of football? It is not about football on the field, but the business and the governance of football. I repeat myself again and again and again. Everybody can have an opinion. Everybody can say something. But if you don't know the basics of the business of football, if you don't know and understand the basics of governance, you should not be part of the conversation. Sorry. It does not help at the moment. As Ryan Williams got clearance from Australia, FA will to play against Bangladesh team. Hannibal, I have not heard any clearance has been received. AIFF would tell us that he's been cleared to play. What has Australian reputation once threatened the national team cricket just because he didn't give him interview and some info? Yeah. So I will never be profitable until and unless national team performance improves. Will be achieved by overall improvement of men's game quality. No, I don't think so, Zara. I think if the ISL took its right steps and rectifications, I think the ISL can be successful, because if you're depending on success of the national team, it's not coming in the next 10 years. Except if you're going to bring in players of origin, that's the only way it will happen. Or must. I think the whole national team needs to be OCIs, but otherwise it's not going to happen. What repercussion would you face from ACA after this tender? Nothing, Rushabh. It is not a matter of FIFA or AFC. The only problem might be that they might say, okay, you might not be allowed to send clubs into our competitions. So how much of a problem do clubs have on that? Do you think there would be any bidder if Supreme Court didn't massively mess it up? That's a good question, Blue. The question is, the question is not if the Supreme Court messes. Again, there are 2 levels of messing up. One messing up is the Supreme Court, and the second level of messing up is the AIFF. The AIFF had an offer from FSDL for extension of the contract. And the AIFF counter offer was, give us 50 crores and the rest we don't care. Right? Star Sports broadcast in 96, 97, later on Z Sports, but overall organization league was always poor. I clearly remember regular fixture changes due to venue and club whims. Yeah. Uchit, I remember I used to travel to India and then say, okay, I'm going to go here, there for matches, and suddenly the matches went totally somewhere else. Right? I mean, the ISL is not perfect, but the ISL has given us a lot of structure into the system. The broadcast has been better, much, much better. The sporting infrastructure as such improved, not only stadiums, but also stadiums have improved massively, but also training facilities and travel, transport, sports science, all these things have improved. I think franchise model wasn't bad at all. It was the fact that they tried to replicate IPL success along with pinch of NBA drafts in the first system. Rushabh, if you're looking at something that one has to be honest about what works in India, what doesn't work in India, right? And if I'm looking at the IPL is the most successful league in India. If I look at you're calling NBA, but I would call the American professional leagues, and I look at the European leagues, and it's a mixture of all these things mixed into one. Then I would say, because the drafts weren't bad. I sat on the first draft. Of course, I didn't sleep for days, but that's my problem. But if you look at, for example, the ISL playoffs has the biggest interest amongst the fans, right? If I like it or not. No, I regularly follow those YouTube videos where many guys complain how the USA Youth League has turned out to be a pay-to-play model rather than giving proper scouting in Youth League. Angry Birds, you are looking at people complaining about things on YouTube. Is that your source of information? That's what I'm saying. That's the same discussion about what is your source. America has been a country of pay-to-play or scholarships. Always. in all sports. If you talk to people who live there, they will tell you that. So therefore, don't compare these things. But it's working. The MLS, look at the way that you're forcing entities who want to come in. You're making them make a $1 billion commitment of infrastructure in regard to stadium, in regard to training facilities, in regard to developing cities. Brilliant. By the way, I don't want Ryan playing in it just to defend for 90 minutes. Okay. Just such is the problem of football is concerned that even in such a crisis, not a single mainstream media is covering it. Yeah. But again, it's not about popularity. It's about the importance of sport, be it football at this moment, football as a sport, football as a or any other sport per se outside of cricket faces that problem in India. So that's a sad reality, but that's the reality of things. And finally, basically, most of them share stadiums with baseball teams. No, they don't. Who says that? The MLS over the last decade has had the biggest infrastructure development programs in the football world. That's what I'm saying, guys. Be clear. What are your sources? There are problems, but there is, yeah. Why is AIFF approaching Supreme Court again? What will they do? Well, that's a good question. I don't know. But in India, we see sports leagues which had succeeded. International performance matters a lot. Just take the recent women's cricket team performance, the viewership from Cricket World Cup final. No, Zoravar, you're taking cricket. And finals was the previous men's T20 World Cup final. Listen, Zoravar, and this is how to read numbers. What are the numbers in hockey? Right? India's gotten a bronze in the last two Olympics, right? Yeah, the Hockey India League is imploding. Kabaddi. People tell me, oh, this is money, there is money, whatever. Losing money left, right, and center, right? With all its problems and having dealt with different sporting federations now, football still is big, but the problem is that the media doesn't want to cover it. You only miss the sun when it starts to snow, only miss her when you let her go. Oh, wow, nice little bit of poetry. I still don't get what was AIFF thinking, if they thought at all. Very good. While rejecting FSDL because you don't stop negotiating on 50 crore without having another offer of similar kind. Yeah, bro, that's the problem. And that is the arrogance that they went into this tender process that, yeah, someone or the other will come forward. Yeah, So that's the interesting part. In US, any activity outside school is expensive. Yes, again, Uchut most probably lives in the US, could tell you a few things. Argentina, Kerala visit was hot topic Kerala for a week. Nadeem, if the money is not there and your infrastructure is not there, again, it's you could, it's the point is that the guys in the middle, even you think about it, that in Angola has better infrastructure than Kerala, that they're willing to play in Angola. Actually, a slap in the face of India, if you take it that way. Is there any wrong about our Indian mentality? Yes, Devanshu. We don't want to. First of all, I think a societal problem is that you're unwilling to say, I've made a mistake. Introspection, accountability. None. I rarely have seen people introspective themselves in an Indian sporting system. Even the athletes. Why isn't there a single football-specific stadium in India? Are we a serious country? But we have at least one, which is the Mumbai Football Arena. We have the stadium in Barasat. We've got the Bangalore Football Stadium. We've got the Mapusa, the Dulea Ground in Mapusa. So we have a few. We don't have world-class ones, but we have a few. So to say zero is not wrong. And then football is not priority. Yeah, maybe it's not our priority, right? I think Khalid will not ruin Ryan. His whole system is someone skilled who can do a proper counter. I want Avnik Bharti to play because Khalid said earlier that he watched his vids and I want to see him too. Yeah. It's the USL Championship and other division where they share baseball stadium. Yeah, Rushabh, that's right. Inter Miami is building a new stadium. They already have one. My local MLS team has a dedicated soccer stadium. Baseball and NFL have different stadium. Yeah, that's the point. Are Ryan Williams and Bharti part of squad vs Bangladesh? Ryan Williams is training with the team since today. but I don't know if he's going to be part of the squad. And Avni Bhartia, I've not heard anything if he's joined them. No, Dada, New York Yankees share the stadium with New York City FC Simmons. They both play in MLS. Yeah, but Angry Birds, why, do you know why New York City FC is playing there? Because they are still building their new stadium. City Football Group and San Diego FC, the same thing. Some of them share infrastructure. Even, for example, Inter Miami has been playing in a different stadium than the real one. You know? Yeah, but Angry Birds, again, ask Uchut lives in the US. I have a little bit of a knowledge, let's see. But you can't compare men's cricket with women's in India as viewers by women's cricket matches, but so less viewership that many matches were even broadcast is now almost every women matches. Every of African, 2-3 crore. So national team does matter. No, Zoravar, look at the way it is marketed and pushed and who pushed it and marketed. Right? If we were so good with football, right? People say that the ISL has done sort of nothing, right? But I would say that if we look at our team and look at the prime of our team in the last few years, I'd have said what? Prime would have been 2019 Asian Cup. That would be most probably the best phase we had. So therefore, for me, that question doesn't arise, right? So therefore, for me, success, yes, is a very important part of parcel of things. But the reality of things for us is how can you build on things? I've watched so many documentaries of African players where they were recruited by French academies through tie-ups. Why we never had a tie-up? Because we don't have that talent. If we want to be honest about that. I've said this. I've never seen a player as talented as I'm Vijan in the last 25 years. And how many kids have come through the system? Do women watch women's sport? Nixon, I guess yes. I don't know. Actually, it's a good question. I don't know. But you know what the point is? India, what I always like to say, some people don't understand it, but India is a couch potato sport watching country rather than playing country. So that's also reality. Every women's sport runs because of the money generated from men's version sport. Hannibal, that is a big thing but a lot of people don't want to hear, right? A lot of people have been talking about these things, So therefore, for me, yeah, difficult topic. We actually need someone like the late Jagmohan Dal Mia. Yeah, if that kind of a character would come into football and help football to grow, yes, 100%, 100%. That's the kind of character we would need. Rushabh answering Angry Birds. Been watching Elite for 6 years now. He's a user player. Regularly uploads game develops. He has played a lot in baseball stadiums. Okay. What's next? Why is the Supreme Court of Football Matters and Rahul Mayer writing tweets against FSTL, whereas he doesn't know any? He wants explicit energy. These kind of people need to be out. Yeah. And therefore, that's the problem. Most women don't watch sports at all. I don't think so. Take cricket, forget other sports. No, don't take cricket as an example because cricket has gone to a level of commercialization which no other sport can do, right? And yeah, that's the thing. I personally know many friends of mine who stopped watching ISL due to poor national team performance. Plus, if you see the quality of ISL 2 has degraded massively post 2017. Zoravar, I wouldn't say that actually. You know what? I felt I started watching again when One Football started broadcasting the ISL, especially in the Bubble League and all that stuff. I thought in 22, 23, yeah, maybe I'm biased because also of the success of Mumbai City, but I thought that the league actually progressed. I feel we've gone down in the last 2-3 years with more and more teams coming up and the league expanding. That has not helped us. That is something which we need to realize and recognize and say, listen, I don't need an expanded 13, 14 team league. Maybe a 10 team league is better for us. And try and build on it because I need to build on it from a talent perspective. I need to build on it commercially. We are not ready for a 14 or 16 team league. We cannot run it. And the infrastructure doesn't allow it. MLS has smaller stadiums for proper football ones or shared with American football stadiums. Rishabh, most of them now are football specific and a lot of them have actually expanded, except some of the big ones like Atlanta shares it. But most of the clubs are now building 35, 40,000 seater stadiums, where in the past they used to build 20, 25,000 seater stadiums in the US and Canada. And look at Canada, for example. In Germany, of course, the big story has been Thomas Müller and at the Vancouver Whitecaps. And the Whitecaps have opened up parts of their stadiums which they never did in the past, right? So therefore, these are things that are happening, and therefore it's a good sign in my opinion, right? So that's that. Right, 1 hour, 10 minutes. Quick reminder, those of you who haven't, if you're liking what we're talking about, if you're liking the conversation, do leave a like behind. Share it with other people. And of course, if you are new to the channel, do subscribe to it. 12 likes so far, guys. I think we can do better. And 3,380 is what we stand at the moment. Thank you very much. We're growing, and do watch the short videos. Did something a little bit more, catchy today by saying who can save Indian football. Yesterday, something on the ISL bid. Also watch, I've done, even though, some people say, why? Not needed. A recap of all the matches in the Super Cup, and watch FC Goa, Al Nassr as well. Watch those things as well. So therefore, and again, thank you as always for following. All right. Even with all the success in women's sports over the last decade, Indian women in general don't follow sports. In fact, we don't follow anything other than national team cricket and IPL. Yeah, what you can be. Lal Mir was blaming the tender paper. According to him, AIFF failed it intentionally to give the control back to FSDL. He sounds like this is a personal view. Don't take it seriously. Yeah, I mean, he should be asked. Is that you are saying that these administrators are there because of you? Kalyan Chobe is there not because of me or because of you. He's there because of people like Rahul Mehra. You have gotten us into this mess. You are not solving the mess. You created this mess. And I say intentions might have been good, but ex-athletes as administrators, forget it. A 10-team close for is one enough for us. We need a talent pool for 16-team league right there. We need a large talent pool, and we don't have it. The game pace is snail-like. Players literally walk around majority of matches. Plus, it's the furnace room majority of attacking and goal creation with Indians always secondary. Yeah, but Zoravar, I'll tell you something and you'll hate it. Watch European football live on a television. Watch it on a television and watch it live. You'll be disappointed. So therefore, that's something also I say. I say people watch matches live, you'll feel it. And it's the atmosphere. It's a togetherness. If I want to watch, I watched today, for example, my home team, FC Remscheid, 6th division. We're not doing well this season. We're struggling. And we've got a guy who's been coaching in the 3rd, 4th tier and who's come in and is trying to implement his ideas. That was more fun to watch. And, but again, not every match is Paris Saint-Germain versus Bayern Munich. That is world class, right? But a lot of them aren't, right? East Bengal FC fans are thinking that they will play I-League and Imam will stay, and Moma fans are still in denial that Moika leaving is possible. Yeah, Hannibal, that's the problem. And they'll be the first ones to go, right? I mean, look at the whole Mohun Super Giant scenario. FLC is doing good level grassroots work. If they pull out all of it, will collapse and we go back to pre-90s. Yes, Renal, we do. Very right. We Indians are such seasonal creatures. After Women's World Cup win, all the turfs have been occupied by women playing cricket, which will last for a few days more. Rushabh, a very good friend of mine, the other day said, you know what? I watched the women's cricket final, but before that, I didn't even know that I think, who did India play? Australia, I think, in the semis, right? He said, I didn't, or England or whatever. He said, I wasn't even watching. I didn't even know that it was happening in India, right? So that's the thing. What's the next steps? Super League Kerala and Karnataka Football Association Kerala Football Association has to do to improve the game quality and betterment of the SAA from your perspective. Renal, I would like to see the financial numbers, because from what I'm hearing, the financials are not adding up. That there is a lot of problem behind the scenes with the financial side of things, and everyone's struggling. They've had one advantage, that the ISL this season didn't happen, so they've got better players. Can you build infrastructure, grow the infrastructure? I think that's going to be a big question for the SLK. Next point will be, how do you stabilize the league? How do you expand the league in regard to time, right? So all of these things are things, and that's the thing. Can you recall how exactly was how Kalanchavi got into administration? Yeah, he was at someone senior at the BJP. They were looking for someone to replace the Praful Patel. And Kalanchavi was, hey, I'm an ex-footballer. I'm a Bengali. I played for India. Take me. That's his entry into administration. Nothing more, nothing less. Which means no prior experience of administration. Right? The BJP even entrusted him of becoming Joint Secretary of the Indian Olympic Association. Welcome. I still didn't get why they hate FSTL so much, because they didn't let them take over, jealousy, or just hating the power. Bro, I think it's a combination of these factors, in the sense of that, that people are jealous, you know, yeah, certain people have lost power, certain people have lost control, certain people, yeah. But at least in Roper Football, the quality gap between is massive as an answer, where even young Indian players can't hold the ball 5 seconds, no can pass. So, Ravar, I remember watching the Euros last year, right? And I was watching Spain, Italy, and I was watching France, Belgium. And those two were my perfect examples. There were other matches like Germany, Spain, and all brilliant. But these two matches were for me a very good example of really world-class teams. France, Belgium was boring to the core. I had Kylian Mbappe running in front of me, but no, it wasn't interesting. So I always say it is, sometimes, again, not every Paris Saint-Germain Bayern Munich match will be like the one this week. It was one of the best games. Bayern Munich's first half was most probably one of the best attacking performances I've seen from a team in a long, long time, right? But yeah, not every game even Bayern Munich plays is interesting. Arunava, I saw India's game highlights, full 90 minutes of Asian Cup 2019. We were very good that time. We were lucky to miss knockouts. We were unlucky to miss knockouts, I think is what you say. We took the game against UAE and Bahrain. Wish we had that though. Listen, we didn't take it against Bahrain. Against Bahrain, we were shit scared. We didn't do anything. But against UAE, yes, we did. UAE, we should have won, I believe. Yeah, against Thailand, we were deserving. UAE, yeah. Ashik Kurunian, two very good chances. A little bit more luck, who knows? Why is it different to see European leagues in TV and live in stadiums? Devanshu, it's not only European leagues, generally football live and the the TV experience is different, because the better your broadcasting production is, the better they will make it look to you. My favorite example is I like to watch Formula One, right? I like to watch Formula One, but F1 live, it's rather more of interacting with people than watching it, because it's much better on the TV, because on the TV you're watching the whole track and everything. If you're live, is the cars are zooming past you. Again, the so yeah, it's and that's what I also say. Indian football isn't as bad as it is made to look, I think. And European football is not as good as we think it is on television. Vijay Gaman also propagate this express in sporting body, Ganguly, PT Usha, Kalyan, etc. Not that much, I guess. Yeah. Right. If the ISL doesn't take place this year, will it also affect the Indian Women's League? And cause it's not happening. Kailash, the Women's League is going to happen in two windows of 20 days each. That's the plan at the moment of the AIFF. Nothing more, nothing less. And we'll have to wait and see what happens. East Bengal and East Bengal Football Club and Mohun Super Giant fans, some of them on Twitter are so arrogant, impossible to argue. They're not leave the argue even when they're absolutely factually wrong. Yeah, listen, this is what we see with a lot of people, no? A lot of people will not agree to that they are wrong on things, which is actually factually right. So therefore, yeah, very difficult, very, very difficult to argue with people and have a discussion and talk about things and say, guys, this is how it should happen, this is how it should be, and then people tell, no, it is, this is the way it is, and it's not in no other way, and therefore we are stuck with that, no. What can Super League Kerala do to lose the financial burden? We can't always pull people due to marketing. What else can we do for Kerala football now? is ambitious, but the government is interested in Argentina friendly. Renal, for that, I don't know enough about the Super League Kerala to be able to say what. Again, the problem is that the salaries are too high, but the players will tell you, oh no, the salaries are actually right. It should be higher even. That is that's the biggest problem, right? And then the question is, how can you run, you need to run a league as long as possible. And those are the things. And again, the Super Leagues are a nice idea maybe to get people interested, but how do you make it, long lasting, long term? Let Nageshwar Rao apologize publicly. Raj, will he ever recognize that he's done a mistake? Will he ever publicly say that, what I did, how I did it was not right, it was wrong? I don't think so. Nageshwar Rao is with the amicus and all those people involved. They have put us into this situation. I would have loved to have a private conversation with the justices from the Supreme Court and say, gentlemen, honorable gentlemen, this is the situation. These are the realities. Compared to Indian players, European players are technically very good. They can shoot the ball anywhere they want, and they are very fast and very good physical. These things are different. Yeah, but it looks better. But again, if you see the mistakes that the players make, and you see a lot of the mistakes, you see things when you're live on the ground which you don't see when you're not at the stadium, right? People literally opposing the closed league idea, Raj, because they don't understand where we stand and what the situation is. So, do you think COVID hit Indian football worse turning point? No. Post-COVID, things have happened which are much worse than COVID. COVID was not good, but FIFA ban and now what has happened is much worse than the impacts of COVID. It's kind of the worst platform in that manner. Everyone is stubborn, not surprising when hitting is the algorithm. Yeah, Blue, that's the problem. We spoke about it a while back, and this is where X has taken itself or taken us, and it has not really helped in the way we want to talk, discuss, and come to a conclusion. I'm fine to discuss, but I've also said that if people come with things which I think is wrong, I will say it is wrong. You will not, and you have to convince me that if I'm wrong, I'll say that I'm wrong. But sorry, most of the time I'm not wrong. Is Mizoram the only one leading in all basic things? I think they're the only state of which are part of the H-Shot campaign. Renal, are they doing everything right? I don't know. I wouldn't, they do a lot of things right, but Mizoram will not do everything right. Otherwise, Mizoram will also be producing Asian level players. In Twitter, the Patriots youth fans always going to oppose you. Fans are the biggest problems, except yeah. Dribbling is 1, shooting is 2, 4 is speed, 5 is physicality. What is number 3, Arunava? Has India made in knockouts Asia Cup entire history? No, we've not. Right, 1 hour 23 minutes. Once more, the reminder: if you're liking the conversation on this channel, please leave a like behind. 15 likes so far. We've had 26, 54. Yeah, we've had quite big followings. Thank you this week, of course. Also, Mumbai City was Kerala Blasters. Over 16,000 views, guys. Thank you very much. New record on this channel. And those of you who want to subscribe, we're at 3,382. So we are inching closer to the 3,400 mark. And please support whenever you can. And as suggested, Varun, look into if I can find platforms to do live streams maybe of the East Bengal games in the the AFC Women's Champions League, and of course India U17s. One second, let me just check which qualifiers are next. 22nd, so from 22nd to 30th in Ahmedabad. So let me see how can I be doing some live. So I'll be trying to see what I can do around those. Right. Don't worry, AIFF is there to save you from age fraud allegations. It's pathetic. Indians in general hates anything private, from politicians to general public. Yeah. Do you think we had Ryan and start of qualifying would have made it to Asian Cup? Or again, those theoretical questions, I'm not sure if I can, Sir, would you like you to, well, like you to see Professor Kanifo. Okay, Raj. The hate for Kalyan job is reached that when fans are abusing their family. Oh God, yeah, it's yeah, for him it's going to an embarrassing level, no, because he's not getting out of this, and he's making matters worse. Kalyan is not able to make matters better with the things that he's saying and doing, and the actions speak louder than anything else, you know. And yeah, it's a disaster. The only way forward for Indian football is to bring PIO players for national team and remove foreign quota and top tier league. Unless Indian national team clubs going well, nothing will work. Okay, again, that PIO, OCI, that's something which I've said many a times over the last 25 years. Yeah, leave judges. Anyone in India who does government job are so arrogant they're unbearable. They act as if they are billionaires. Okay, just see our opposition leaders hounding Ambani as anti-national every day. Okay, so our one player cannot change the whole system. No, he can't, right? No, he can't. And, it's a lot of work needs to go down that route to sort things out, right? But it's difficult. It's very tricky. It's very complex. And I hope things move into the right direction. But I don't know if and how this can actually factually work, right? So, yeah, it's very, very difficult. Right, 1 hour, 26 plus minutes on this live. If you haven't like, share, and subscribe, watch the short videos. We're doing something tomorrow, maybe with the way forward. Let me see, and yeah, keep supporting the channel. If someone is private in this country, the common notion that government has sold the entity. Okay, there is a reason Adani wins tenders everywhere because his companies are weak. Okay, right. Let's not move into that field. Slowly come to an end on this live. It looks difficult. It looks close to impossible, but we'll have to wait and see what happens in the coming days. And as I said, like, share, subscribe, watch the short videos. Do leave a hype behind. Again, this also helps the channel. We've grown quite a bit over the last 4 or 5 weeks. So thank you all for that. Very important. Without your help, your support, that would not be possible. And yeah, wherever you can, this channel needs your support. Without your support, I cannot grow. We cannot grow. And yeah, I'm trying to be the voice of change in Indian football. And for that to be growing further, I will need your support. I'll just take a few last queries or questions or observations. Same goes for one football. Says Hannibal, football will not get eyeballs unless there's success. Unlike cricket, local players can't bring success at the moment. I agree with that, Abhijit. Fans need to understand FSI has invested in Indian football where no one did before using the Ambani's. Just see how many came to bid. Clubs don't have sponsors. Very well said, Raj. And with that, I'd like to end this live. Thanks. Good night on this Sunday. And once more, like, share, and subscribe. Arunfoot here on YouTube. Visit my other social medias. Visit arunfoot.com. And I'll be back tomorrow evening. Good night, everyone.